Hi, everyone. It's Henry DeVries with Wealth Authority TV. This is the TV show that helps financial advisors, wealth managers um, on a number of topics. And really, we're big fans of the industry and the noble work that financial advisors do. And I've got a great one with me today, Matt Middendorp. Matt, please introduce yourself.
So my name is Matt Middendorp. I am the director of ESOP Consulting at Vision Point Capital.
Okay. And what do you do for your clients? And typically, who are your clients and what do you do for them?
So my clients are typically business owners who are trying to figure out how to transition out of their business. And what I do is I educate around employee ownership, specifically employee stock ownership plans, work them through the process, help them decide if it's a fit for what they do, and then guide them through to selling their business to an ESOP.
Well, that is important and noble work you do right there. There's so many
Thank you.
business owners I talk to, and um, and it's not just doing the math, Matt.
Yeah.
It's more like they're playing a high stakes game. They only get to play it once. They've never played the game before,
Yeah.
so they need someone like you to coach them through and show them their options and set them up for success. So, thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
The question I wanted to ask you today is, what can the financial services industry do to improve the image of financial advisors?
So I think the one of the best thing that financial advisors can do to improve their image in the industry is really take the time if they're working with business owners to understand the things that are going through their head. And I know you guys have a lot of conversations, but the truth of it is it's not that there's what is it, 40% of businesses are still owned by baby boomers in the US, right?
Hmm?
So it's not that they have a lack of options for selling their business. The problem is that the options they have aren't tripping the triggers or checking the boxes that they want to check, right? It's not just about price. It's about control, who runs their business after they're done. It's about their identity as a business owner. As somebody who owned a business, I can tell you that one of the hardest things that I ever decided to do was part from it, and it's about their legacy. So, if you're having a conversation about price and control and identity and legacy, I think you're going to find that if they're not selling their business because of price, it's because there are other things that they're thinking about. And the really good news is employee ownership or employee stock ownership plans actually is really the only exit option that checks those boxes. You don't have to sacrifice price. You make just as much of a return as selling to private equity. You don't have to give up control. Who runs the company today runs it when you're done. You get to keep your identity as a business owner. You don't have to give up that, and you can look your employee in the eyes when you're done. So if you understand that and you're having that conversation and figuring out which one of those boxes are most important to them, you can guide them to the right solution, which is just wealth that comes right back to you in investments through them when they close.
What's your philosophy about educating business owners on their options?
So my philosophy is understanding what they're trying to accomplish. That's step one, right? If you don't
Mhm.
understand what it is they're trying to do, then man, the last thing I want to do is help somebody transition their business to an ESOP, only to find out that that didn't really check the boxes that they were looking to check. So you want the seller to get the return they're looking for. You want the business to be better off when you're done, and you want the employees of the business to have wealth that they would have otherwise never had.
I'm helping a company in Texas that evolved. They were in the heating,
Yeah.
it's HVAC, the HVAC
Yep.
world, and all these people. And the ESOP was a godsend for them and for the
Yes.
employees and getting the capital they needed to get through some rough times.
Hmm.
And then also, I mean, they gave pride of ownership to so many people there. What are the different advantages of the ESOP?
Sure. From a seller's point of view, when we talk about return, uh, depending on how deep we want to dig into this, right? So I'll give you the short version of it, Henry.
Okay.
From a seller's point of view, you're looking at for the principal you're looking at long-term capital gains versus ordinary income, right? So when you're selling to an ESOP from a tax point of view, your return is better because you're getting treated better by the tax code. From the
Right.
company's point of view, if you're an S corp. for example, and you're 100% employee owned, those K1s that went to the sellers will now go to the ESOP instead, and the ESOP doesn't have to pay taxes on them. So suddenly you're a company where in 46 out of 50 states, you're not paying state or federal taxes. Okay, you can do some good with that money, right? Make some acquisitions,
Right.
invest in the business. Lots of amazing things you can do with that. And then from the third point of view, right, the employees. This is the first time you're going to align the value of the employees to the value of the business, right? So it's one of those things where employee-owned businesses tend to grow faster than non-employee-owned businesses. They tend to be more profitable. They weather economic downturns better than non-ESOP businesses. So again, the employer makes more money, the company no longer pays taxes, and the employees are building wealth. It's fantastic.
It's it's not a loophole. It's
No,
created to um, spread the wealth and um, help the company in the long term. So thanks so much for the work you do with that.
thank you.
Matt, we're almost out of time, but is there anything else you wanted to add or something I didn't cover?
I guess the biggest thing I would say is if you're thinking about what's next for your business, you don't have to decide if an ESOP is right for you from the get-go. You don't go from zero to, hey, I want to sell to an ESOP. There's a lot of education. That's 90% of what I do for a living is educate business owners. And there are steps you take to study whether or not it's a fit for you and your business before you have to commit to anything. So the cost of just looking at it is free to get educated, and then to formally decide if it's the right thing is minimal. So you don't have to go from zero to ESOP. You can learn and grow through it and decide if it's right for you in an organized and process-driven manner.
Here's the lesson I'm taking away. If you want to improve your image as a financial advisor, be an educator. Learn,
Absolutely.
be a questioner, find out what the goals are and what people want to accomplish. Don't just be somebody with a cookie cutter plan who comes in for everybody and tries to fit them into that plan. Is that a fair assessment?
Love and understand your customers, where they're at, where they're trying to get to, and what's most important to them in that journey. Absolutely.
Hey, all we want in life is health, wealth, and love. Sounds
Well
good to
said.
me.
I like it. We should write
Okay.
that down. Yeah.
Thanks, Matt. Um, until next time, help your clients be healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you. And we're out.
Perfect.
That was a good job.